As a businessman, sometimes it gets to the end of the day and you're extremely tired, and not because of what you've been doing, not because of the work, but because of the so many micro decisions that you've been making all through the day. I remember in my previous video, as I was talking about some of the things that I struggled with as I began my business, there's a point I talked about decision fatigue. And in today's video, I'm going to look at how decision fatigue can kill the momentum of you being in business and how to go around it. You see, after that video, a friend of mine reached out to me and was like, Dan, do you really believe that we can get out of the rat race of always making these micro decisions, and by the end of the day you're so tired, you're so fatigued, and you don't have even a momentum of looking at the following day's schedule? You see, decision fatigue is whereby by the end of you making the decision of what to wear today, you've already started receiving calls from clients and they want you to deliver something. And by the time you're even finishing with that call, you have to make a decision of which supplier do I need to work with. By the time you're finishing that decision, you have to think about the content ideas that you have for your business. You have to think about, there are so many decisions you have. Like, it seems as if, and especially if you're in the building stage of your business, it seems as if you're running a whole production team just by your two hands. To some point, I have met some of my friends who are in business who just get to a point that they just feel, I just can't take it no more. This is burnout on steroids, because it requires your mind to be present all the time. Like, I have to make a decision of what to do, what, when, how, who. I mean, there's so many decisions. And especially when you're starting your business, you're the CEO, you're the marketer, you're the person to wash the place. As in, you have so many things at your plate. And it feels as if it is overwhelming. But I do believe, even with all this that is going around, I do believe there's always a way out. And what do you really need to see so that maybe you can notice that you're actually being bagged by decision fatigue? You see, when you start procrastinating decisions, you realize that you're actually having so many decisions. You're finding yourself procrastinating. You're finding yourself, you're just doing things just to get by. You're like, let's just do this, just for you to pass that decision point. It gets to a point whereby you just don't want to do something just because you don't want to make a decision. And the unfortunate thing is that in everything in life, as long as you avoid it right now, you're going to find it at some point. So even if you're going to run away from making a decision right now, be 100% sure you're going to come to a point where you have to make a decision about that thing. And the question will be, Dan, then how am I going to work around this decision fatigue? Does it have to be that way all along, even as I've passed my building stage of the business? As the owner, entrepreneur, or even someone who is running a 9-to-5 but also want to be so in touch with your life, you see, it gets to a point where you have to make all these micro decisions, and all these micro decisions, they seem to be as important and as urgent. But one thing that you really need to understand, even as you're making all these decisions, is you arriving to a point where you have to prioritize and say, this, I have to think about it now, so I have to get it done now. Even if you have 1,000 things that you have to do, doing that 1 or 2 things every day helps and moves the needle. You just have to analyze and say, what's the urgent thing that I have to do right now? I have found myself thinking and trying to solve a problem of something that is going to be done like 2 or 3 weeks from now, and I'm forgetting that I have an immediate and urgent problem that I need to solve right now. There's a time I found myself, I'm thinking so much about the rent that I need to pay for my outlet, And I'm not thinking about how do I need to serve my clients better today. It's not that we are minimizing this problem about rent. It's just that what's the urgent thing to think about right now? Is it the rent or the client? Is it you thinking about the supplier or how to design something? We're going to think about the supply when we are going to get to that point. It's you not thinking about how we're going to cross the bridge and we have not yet even gotten to a place where we can see the bridge. Sometimes we overload ourselves with so much to think about that we even lose the plot of where we need to go. That's the first thing. Create a list. And as you're creating the list, list 3 things that must be done on that day. Just 3 things. And with these 3 things, celebrate them as things having been done. If you're going to finish them within your time framework and you want to go to the 4th and the 5th and the 6th thing, that is well for you. But just create 1, 2, 3 things every day that must be done. These things have to be done by the end of the day. You see, you might find yourself that you're doing things to a conclusion very fast than even just starting something and you're pausing, starting something and you're pausing. See, I found myself, I am getting all these client calls. A client wants you to apply for a passport. Another one wants to apply for them a driving license. Someone else also wants to be typed for a letter. You gauge their urgency. Who and what time do I need for which activity? Sometimes I'll find myself, I'll want to finish up with this driving license application because I know I might spend less time and it might create for me more time to get something else done. For example, the typesetting. I know typesetting will take me more time, so I'll do the application for the license and maybe also do the application for the passport because these are almost in the same platform on eCitizen. And then on my relaxing time, I go with the typesetting. But it will also depend with the urgency. The worst thing that you can always do for yourself is starting on something and pausing at 90%. Because what that does to your psychic is it pauses that thought that there's something that has not been done. And when you rush towards something else, you've paused this one, you've gone there, and as you're doing it, you're still thinking about whatever you have not done. If there is something that can be a hack for your life, start on something and finish. For example, the day that I say I'm going to shoot my videos, I ensure sometimes things come up and I may not be able to shoot everything, but I will shoot from video 1 to video 7 or video 10. Ensure everything has been done. That day is for shooting videos only and doing other activities that I've set myself to do. If it is editing, I will edit at a certain time. And if possible, do the edit or ensure that everything has been done. And this is going to segue us to what it means about building systems in life. For example, most of the times you will see me here, I'm in a black t-shirt. So even when I want to shoot my videos, I don't have to think about my t-shirt. That decision has already been done. It's always a black t-shirt. And I have several black t-shirts, and most of the times you'll actually find me in a black t-shirt. So even if I get an opportunity to shoot a video for like 10 minutes, I don't have to think so much about the t-shirt. It has already been done. For example, you can create templates for yourself as a client comes and wants to be written for, let's say, a CV or an application letter. You already have a template. So what do? You just tweak it a little bit. So it lessens the time for you that you're doing a certain activity for you to create more time to do other things. As you're building this system, you're ensuring that you're having lesser time and lesser decisions to be making. Now we are in the day of AI, whereby it is just by you sending some certain prompts and you can derive a certain outcome. Does it mean you can create such prompts or certain chat box for your business or even for your life, whereby if you can get an email, the email has been summarized. It gives you some bullet points. Now, by the time you're receiving it as a text or as a notification, you're just seeing the summary. You can go back later on to see the details. Now, these are the systems that are going to enable you reduce decision fatigue and reduce the number of decisions that you have to make. For example, I have to pay the rent by the 10th or by the 5th. Does it mean by that time that I can make a standing order at my bank so that at that time there is money and it is going to be deducted and it's going to notify my agent? See, as you're building all these systems, you're enabling yourself to focus on the real job and reducing the amount of decisions that you have to make. I do believe some of this, we might find ourselves, we have been caught. Sometimes you have so many decisions, not because it's your choice, but simply because life just happened and you have to do so many things at the same time. It is always good creating a plan. Pre-plan your week, pre-plan your day. Probably before you go to sleep, you can look at what do I need to do tomorrow? What do I need to do in this coming week? Do I need to reach out to? Write those must be dones by the end of the week or before the start of the week, or by the end of the day, you have a to-do list for tomorrow. And as you're doing this, you're building a certain structure and a certain system. There's one thing that you will also need to do, and I really fail in this because I tend to consider myself as someone who really is hands-on. But for you to enable yourself to run away from the trap of having decision fatigue is delegate. I always have a challenge with delegation. Maybe it's because I've been to places where you've delegated and someone has failed you, or they have not been able to do things the way you told them to do. But if there's something that you really need to get right in your life, is delegation. Delegate, delegate. If things can be done by someone else, then you don't have to do it. If someone else can do it well, better than yourself, delegate it to them. Walk them on how to do it, and then focus on the most important thing as a business. You're the CEO of that business. Focus on the most important. May it be client acquisition, may it be product innovation, may it be you ensuring that the market knows that you're there. This is what really means for you as the CEO or as the leader of that team. That you're delegating most of the work and you're leaving yourself with the most critical and most important thing of the business. This does not mean that everyone else is doing minor jobs. Everyone has to do excellent work for this business to be held up straight. You have to focus on the right thing when you're in business, because anything else is a distraction. And having decision fatigue, this can cause you to procrastinate, to feel as if you're lazy. But no, it's just the fact that you're having decision fatigue that is killing the momentum of you being in business. You can confidently run away from this trap. And I have shown you the ways on how to run away from this. I do believe you can do something great. You can be better. You can be great at whatever you do just by simply reducing the amount of decisions that you have to make each and every other day. You don't have to do everything again. Just do the most important. And I do believe you're going to rise up above and you're going to see success chasing you. You don't have to be trapped. You don't have to be burned out. You don't have to feel as if you're lazy. You can do it. You can get it done. Get done with decision fatigue, and success is going to chase you. Till next time. Peace.